Hello and welcome back to my channel. This video is a video that is not supposed to end until we find a 5-star read, and let me tell you, we found it and I cannot wait to tell you all about that. But first, let's get into some other books that I read. I started this video a few weeks ago and I recorded like one time and then I completely forgot about it. But in my last video or a few videos ago, I don't remember, I did say that I was going to do this video, so I don't want to just delete it and not end up posting it. So I still did find a 5-star, I just didn't record myself finding it, and I really wish I did, because this book that is my 5-star read that I found is now my favorite book of all time. This video is not anything like what I expected it to be. I thought I was just going to read a bunch of books until I find that 5-star, and I completely forgot about it. I wish I didn't, so I definitely want to try to do this video again in the future, doing it the correct way. But since I did find this 5-star book and it's so good that I really want to talk about it, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about it in this video, even though the video isn't exactly how I expected it to be. But first, I'm going to show you the intro to the video that I already recorded and talk about that. Hello and welcome back to my channel. This video is just going to last as long as it takes for me to get a 5-star read. It's been a while since I've had a 5-star. I want that 5-star experience where you can't stop talking about it, you can't stop thinking about it. And I haven't had that experience, I don't think, at all this year yet. So I'm hoping to find that in this video. The first book that I am reading is The Fur Trader's Lady by Gabrielle Meyer. And if you know me, you know that I love this author. I love her Timeless series that she has. And when I saw that she was writing this new book that was going to come out February 4th, I think, I got so excited and I immediately pre-ordered for it. I did only pre-order for the ebook version because I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. I am obsessed with the Timeless series, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be obsessed with everything that she writes. So I did only get the ebook version just to start out. But I am only 4 chapters in, and I am loving this book. I started reading it last night and read it until I went to bed, so I didn't get to read as much as I wanted to because it was so late and I needed to go to bed. But it is so good and I can't wait to get more into it today. I have been reading A Fur Trader's Lady, I think is what it's called. The Fur Trader's Lady, and it is really good so far. I'm on chapter 12, so that's 43%. I have been reading it all morning. It's been really good. So yeah, one of my favorite authors, Gabrielle Meyer, came out with a new series, Ladies of the Wilderness, and The Fur Trader's Lady is the first book in that series, and I did finish reading that, and to be honest, I did not like it as much as I thought I would. I still rated it a really high rating of 4 stars. It was very strong in the beginning and I loved it, but then some of the topics just were a little too intense for me. It talked about the fur traders and how they would use women to their advantage. I'm not going to go into detail of what that is, but I'm sure you can read in between the lines. Just a lot of more mature topics like that, just things that didn't make me feel super comfortable when I was reading them. It was pretty good, not horrible, but it just wasn't that 5-star experience. Okay, so at this time I was also filming a video of reading all the books that I was in the middle of, so you can go ahead and watch that video to see all the books that I read. I guess actually technically those books I read before The Fur Trader's Lady, none of those books were 5 stars for me, but they were very good books, and so I would recommend that video if you're looking for some other book recs. So now it is time for me to talk about my favorite book of all time, The Hunger Games. I saw this beautiful set at Walmart one day when we were going grocery shopping with my husband. This series actually was on my 2025 TBR because I knew it was a popular series. I wanted to know what it was about. And seeing this beautiful set, I was like, oh, now I really want to read this set this year. But I did decide not to buy it then because I just kept thinking, and I'm like, if I don't like it, I don't want to have to buy this whole set, and then even though it's beautiful, so it would still sit on my shelf really pretty, I just don't want to waste my money if I don't like it. And so usually I read books at the library or on Libby or any other free way, and then if I do end up liking it, I will buy it. It's not usual that I buy a book before reading it just for that reason. So I decided not to get it that day. But a few days later, my husband just came home and surprised me with this series, with this set. And I was so happy and so thankful, and I am especially happy and thankful now that I have read the first book in the series. I did just come back from visiting my family, and I took this book with me thinking that I probably wouldn't read it, not knowing if I would like it or not. I had no idea what The Hunger Games was about. I took it with me just in case I needed something to read while I was there. and I didn't bring any of the other books with me. I definitely regretted that decision after reading this book. So while I was there, I was finishing up The Fur Trader's Lady, and then I also read this book. And I read this book in, I want to say, like 2 to 3 days. It did take me a little bit longer than I wanted it to because I was also spending time with my family. But this book is so good, and I was not expecting that at all because I didn't know what it was about. I thought maybe it was like a fantasy, like maybe sci-fi type book, which I don't know exactly what genre this book falls under, but it doesn't really seem like that to me. So in case you don't know what The Hunger Games is and you are like me and just are living under a rock or something, I don't know. The Hunger Games is a game where a male and a female from each district, there are 12 of them, fight and kill basically until there's only one person left, and that is the winner of the games. As soon as I started reading it, the flow of the book and the writing style immediately had me grasp. I loved it immediately, and I did not want to put it down. And then when we got to the games, like, it picked up even more, and like I literally felt like I was in the book. I was like nervous and like excited, but like nervous mostly, especially for our main character Katniss. And I loved Katniss. She's just a super strong female main character, and I just love her so much, and I don't know why, but I like felt like I was her. I'm nothing like Katniss. I am not like a strong person like her. Like, if I were in the games, I would probably be the first to die, but I just felt like I was her, and I felt like I was living her, and it was just so intense. But I loved it so much, and I had no idea that this book was going to be a romance, but like I was in for that too. I guess the rest of the books are kind of a love triangle, and if that's the case, I'm not here for that. I do not like that. I definitely see her and her best friend Gail, I think, just being friends. Like, they've just been friends their whole lives, so I don't like the fact that it's going to be a love triangle thing. But at the same time, I only have read the first book, so I don't really know what to expect, and I am so excited to read the rest of the series. I couldn't wait to get home so that I could read the rest of the series. I'm so excited. And apparently there's even a 5th book coming out this year, like this month actually, I think, that talks about, I'm going to say his name wrong probably, but Haymick, I think, the mentor of District 12. It's about his story, which is just so exciting. So I cannot wait to read all of these books. They are so good. Well, I don't know about all of these, but if they're anything like the first book or better than the first book, they're going to be so good, and I'm so excited. So yeah, that was my 5-star read of this video. I just really wanted to talk about that book series because it is so good, and I can't explain it as good because I'm not as good with words as I wish I were. I think. I don't even know if I said that correctly. But it's just so good. And like, if you have never read The Hunger Games, then you need to read it because it is so good. It is a masterpiece. And if you're a reader, read it. If you're not a reader, read it. It'll make you a reader. It's just so good. I loved it. I really want to just read the second book right now. But the reason why I'm not continuing to read the series yet is because I'm already in the middle of another book. After I was done with The Hunger Games, I needed something else. I also brought the book Powerless because I got this book for Christmas and I've been wanting to read it since last year. I saw a lot of people talking about it, and so I did start this. I'm about 60% done with it right now, and it is really good. It's also like The Hunger Games because there are trials, which are kind of like the games in The Hunger Games, and they're all fighting and killing and to try to win these trials. I'm not exactly sure everything about the trials yet. I don't know if it's because I just am a bad reader and I just didn't get that, or if they're just not telling us yet. I don't know which one. But I am really enjoying it. It definitely is more of a romance than a fantasy, and I am not a fantasy person. I do not always enjoy fantasy. It's not what I go towards usually, but I did see a lot of good things for this book, and I'm finally seeing why. And it is really good. The romance is really good. It's like so much tension right now because it's like enemies to lovers, and but also like there's so much attraction, so like it's like tension and attraction, and it's so cute, and I'm loving it. And I think maybe there's a love triangle in this book too because there's 2 obvious love interests of who it could be. But this book is really good so far and I'm enjoying it. So I am going to be reading this book in this video so I can finish it and go on to the rest of the Hunger Games series because I'm so excited about it. And also, I did say that I'm trying to do better at not reading multiple books at the same time. And I'm doing so good at that ever since finishing that video of all the books I was in the middle of. And I've only been reading 2 books at a time since then. The only reason why I'm reading 2 books right now, I did get a notification on Libby that one of my books are due back soon, what happens is I have these holds on Libby for books, and then they say that your hold is ready now, and I don't want it to go to somebody else, so I hurry up and accept it. But then if I'm already in the middle of other books, I don't usually start it, and so I kind of forget about them. Yeah, so it's due in 2 days, or is it due tomorrow? I don't know. I think it was due in 2 days yesterday, so maybe it's due tomorrow. It's a shorter book, only like 300 pages. It's called The Wishing Game, I think, and it's another popular book, and I'm also loving that book. I don't know if there's just something different with me in my reading right now. I like every book that I read because I don't have taste, or if it's because every book I pick up is just that good. And I think it's that, because every book I've read is that good. Like, I don't think it's just because I don't have good taste or something, because if I don't like a book, I don't like a book, and I'm not afraid to admit that I don't like a book. But every book I've picked up so far in this month of March has been really good. So I'm going to go ahead and continue this book. I am also going to read The Wishing Game. Hello again. It is the next day, and I did finish The Wishing Game. This book was so beautiful. I literally cried reading it, and I am not an easy crier, especially when it comes to movies and books. And I loved this book because it was cozy, it was heartwarming, it was a really easy read, and it just immediately grasped me. I really enjoyed this book and would recommend it to anyone. It is so good. So this book is about an author. He writes these children's books that take place on this island called Clock Island, and he writes himself as the mastermind, I think is what it's called. And he like just tells a lot of riddles, there's games involved and things like that. And the series sounded really good. Like, I really wish that that was a real series, because I would love to read that as a kid, and I think that's the series that my sister Ariel would like. 6 years before the current time that they are writing about, he stopped writing books. And there's this girl named Lucy, she's 26, and she grew up reading the Clock Island books. She had a rough childhood, and the Clock Island books helped her to deal with her pain of being lonely and having a not good childhood. And now she is a kindergarten teacher's aide, and there's this 7-year-old boy, Christopher, who she used to teach, and she really wants to become his mom. She wants to adopt him, but she doesn't have the funds for it. She's just not in a stable enough environment for her to raise him. She lives with these roommates, and she doesn't have a car. She just isn't super stable, and so she's not able to adopt him. And no matter what she does, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be able to happen. Then she gets invited to play these games by Jack, the author of the Clock series. All of a sudden, he is writing a new book, and he's doing a new competition where 4 people can compete in these games, and whoever wins gets a life-changing award. And it is so good, so heartwarming. Lucy is one of those 4 people, and it's just so beautiful. I was literally, like I said, I was crying at the end. It was so beautiful, and I would definitely recommend it. It was so good. I went into reading that book with 0 expectations. I heard a lot of mixed reviews. There's a lot of reasons why not to like it. I guess I can see that, but at the same time, I don't know. I just thought it was really good, and it's definitely 5 stars for me. I don't know if I said that or not, but yeah, it's 5 stars. I am also reading Powerless. I haven't read a lot of it because I really wanted to finish that book since it was due back to Libby, and so I am now reading Powerless. I took the sleeve off because I do not like reading with those hardcover sleeves. So I'm actually going to go outside because it's such a nice day, and I want to take advantage of the weather. And so I'm going to go read outside, and I want to finish this book up by today. I'm 80% done. I am going to go ahead and go outside and read this book. I'm so excited. I do love this book a lot, and it's starting to get really good, I think. It always was good, but like the beginning was super good, and then the middle I was like, it like kind of dropped for me. It kind of was slower, but now I think it's starting to pick up again. I'm starting to like it again, and so I'm excited to go read it.